How does your fitness impact your entrepreneurship? How does your fitness impact your entrepreneurship? And specifically, how can you boost your IQ by more than 7%? That's the topic today. So I've had subscribers ask me off and on. They've noticed, like, they look at my old pictures and my old video, and number one, they tell me that I need to update my headshot. And honestly, they're right. But I also had them asking specifically about, like, what has been your fitness transformation? And I don't typically, like, this isn't really a fitness channel, but I am happy to answer that question. And honestly, it's a really important part of my life to take care of this body that I go through the world in. And it's become more and more important. So I decided I would do a quick breakdown of some of the different topics related to that. So first things first, I actually want to share with you something that I saw just the other day. So I saw this analysis that was done of how different activities impact your IQ score. And so your IQ score is one measurement of your brain's ability to think. And it's not completely fixed. Yeah, we're kind of born, we end up in kind of a range based on genes and environment and all that stuff, right? But there are things that we can do that support thinking better, that actually support our brain working better. And the number one thing that you can actually do to make your brain work better is to learn a new musical instrument. So that's kind of cool. That boosts, like, if you see here on the screen, it boosts your IQ by like 9% to learn a new musical instrument. Knitting is number 2, which is kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that. If somebody was to say, what's the top 5, knitting would not have been on my top 5 guesses. But as you can see, number 3, and actually knitting is almost the same as learning a new instrument. Number 3 here is exercising. So regular exercise can boost your IQ by like 7%. Which is kind of cool. Just simply exercising consistently, exercising regularly, that can boost your IQ by 7%. So honestly, like, to me, that's pretty awesome to consider that just regularly getting out there and moving your body. And honestly, we're made for moving our bodies, right? But getting out there and regularly moving your body can help you think better. And that's been my experience, that there's lots of reasons to take care of your physical health, but yet another one, like, if you are a high performance active entrepreneur, you should take care of your physical health, knowing that it will pay off in helping your brain work better too. So I want to go through a few different things. First things first is actually way back at the very end of August of 2016. So more than 4 years ago now. I decided it was time to do something about my weight. It had been creeping up through my adult life. And so I decided the first thing that I could do is every day I would decide to just step on the scale. Every day, step on the scale. First thing in the morning, go to the bathroom, step on the scale. And I started entering it into a spreadsheet. And at the time, I was about 207 pounds. And it made me more aware, more conscious of the food decisions that I was making, and which ones were supporting me having a healthy body and which ones weren't. And I'll talk more about diet in just a second, but basically I use that as consistent feedback, daily feedback. I also track like a 7-day average and a 30-day average at this point, because those are more telling of your actual, like, trends, right? But I use that as consistent feedback to pay attention to what I was doing and how it was impacting me. And I actually dropped from about 207 to about 181 at my lowest. And then I decided, 171 at my lowest. I decided that was actually not a good body weight for me to maintain. And right now I'm in the mid to upper 180s, wherein I made a conscious decision that, hey, I want to be able to grow muscle to lift this thing, which we'll talk about in a minute. And that's going to require me to eat a little bit more food. And so my weight is pretty steady for the last year plus in the mid 180s range. So before we get into the exercise part, which again, boosts your IQ by 7%, right? Helps you think better as an entrepreneur. I want to talk about diet because I really operate under a really simple set of diet principles. And, it's not keto, not low carb, not low fat, not like any of these super restrictive diets. It's basically like the clean eating, healthy eating approach. So number one, our diets are packed with added sugar. Like the food that is available in the grocery stores is packed with added sugar. And I try to minimize the amount of added sugar that I eat. So things like, I actually have a huge bag of dried apricots in my office, and I eat those all the time. They're full of sugar, but they are not added sugar. Like they're not sweetened with more sugar. It's sugar and fiber and all the other nutrients that come with fruit, right? So it's about less added sugar, more whole foods, which is, if it looks a lot like it looks in nature, it's a whole food. More fat, so not low fat. Actually, your body does a really great job of converting fat into energy if it's a balanced part of your diet. More protein. I have protein shakes. And by the way, I do eat processed foods. I eat just like everybody else, but I try to minimize the amount of processed foods I eat, and I try to maximize the amount of whole foods that I eat. Again, more proteins, and primarily I choose whole grains. I love like white bread, like white flour, whatever. I love all of that, right? But primarily for the vast majority of the grains that I eat, I try to make it whole grains. And it's all like 80-20. I have main decisions that I make, but Friday nights we have pizza, and I love having pizza. We like make cookies, and my family loves to bake stuff, and I'll eat those. It's just, I try to make sure that I eat as much good food as I need to sustain my body first, and then I'll eat the other stuff, right? Then we get to exercise. So this is my primary, it's heavy. And when the camera shakes, you'll see, it's heavy. That's just me setting it back down on my desk. This is a 53-pound kettlebell. I have in my office here, I have a 35-pound, a 45-pound, a 53-pound, and a 70-pound kettlebell. And I do kettlebell-related exercises at least 3 times a day. I also have gymnastics rings on my office ceiling, and I have push-up handles because I may have fractured my wrist playing hockey when I was younger, and I can't do push-ups, a lot of reps of push-ups in the, hands on the concrete, hands on the floor without it aggravating my wrist. So kettlebells and bodyweight exercises is it for me. I follow the principles of Pavel, who really brought kettlebells to America, first through his Dragon Door Publishing, which was really a direct response company linked into the whole Dan Kennedy thing. But now he actually has a company called Strong First, and I read Pavel's books, and that's primarily where I learn about different approaches to doing kettlebells. He has a book called Simple and Sinister that primarily has driven a lot of my recent stuff, and basically it's about, if you find a very narrow set of exercises and do them consistently while growing just a little bit in your capability on a regular basis, you can achieve a lot of positive fitness gains. And really, like, once you get over that beginner's rush of I barely ever exercise and I start doing it consistently, all that you can expect is little tiny incremental gains through doing it consistently. But all those incremental gains add up through time. Now, I actually took Pavel's Simple and Sinister program, which involves doing something called a Turkish get up, where you start laying on your back on the floor with this 53-pound weight, and you end up standing up with it up over your head, right? And then you go all the way back down to the floor, and it's these series of controlled movements. And he also has a swing that he does as part of that. And these are like standard kettlebell exercises. And, I was doing that for a while. It was great. Then my shoulder started bothering me. And so I backed off, and I actually came up with something, and I gave it a really silly name. And I actually posted about it on Reddit. I'll make sure to include a link here. The name that I gave it is the Manly Physique Protocol, and it's because it is specifically about building the type of physique associated with like the traditional masculine physique, which is broader shoulders, stronger arms, strong core, good posture because you have a good posterior chain. And it is 4 exercises that I do fairly consistently. And I'm just trying to make tiny incremental improvements over time in each of those. There is the pull-up. So I do pull-ups. I do a clean and press with kettlebells. I do swings with kettlebells, and I do push-ups. And it's just 4 exercises that I do really consistently with a plan that's designed to incrementally grow my capability. And I hope that you hear in what I do that this is all super simple. Like my kettlebell exercises, I do it 3 days a week, and it's a total of it's about 26 minutes per day, and it's all timed, and it's explained in that Reddit article on my manly physique protocol, which is silly, but I have this entire protocol that I developed, and it takes 26 minutes per day, 3 days a week, so less than 90 minutes a week, and I feel as fit and physically capable as ever. And my body is continuing to change in positive ways, but more important to my YouTube channel, where I talk about copywriting, marketing, entrepreneurship, it helps my brain work better every single day. It helps me show up with full energy. One of the great things about the principles that I learned in Pavel's Simple and Sinister workout plan and then translated into my manly physique protocol is it really emphasizes leaving gas in the tank. Like, you're not trying to just max yourself out every day. What you're trying to do is build your capacity through consistently working out, but not just knocking yourself to the floor because you've just worked so hard. And so all of this, if I'm going to translate all these fitness principles to entrepreneurship, really what it is take care of yourself, give yourself the right energy, make yourself capable of handling what life is going to throw at you, and stick with it over time for consistent improvement. And if you do those things, there's the book Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, so many people have emphasized the power of these small incremental gains. And, my fitness is yet another example of that. And who knows, maybe my IQ has gone up by 7% since I've gotten really serious and consistent about my own approach to fitness. So I don't know. This is a very different video for my channel. Normally I'm going to talk about marketing, copywriting, entrepreneurship, and all that stuff. I'd love to know, leave a comment below. Let me know what your reaction is to this. Did you find it valuable at all or not? I ask you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. How valuable did you find it and why? Any insights, any takeaways, any action items for you? Also, tap that like button before you go if you like this, so you get more content like this delivered to you, and so the magical algorithms of the internet will share it with more people like you who will find it valuable. You can certainly share it with folks directly. And subscribe before you go, especially if you want more content on marketing, copywriting, and business, because that's what I normally cover in my YouTube videos. So subscribe before you go. You can also check out breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com if you want more on marketing and business from me, and check out the links in the description for more about fitness and entrepreneurship. Again, Roy Furr for Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I always aim for that 10 out of 10 value, even with this different kind of video. I hope that I've delivered it here, and I look forward to seeing you again in your next video. I will see you soon. Bye.